What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check. This is the state of wrestling, and that is Jake fucking DeMarco. What's going on, buddy?
Show me 1,800.
Oh,
Yeah, it's on the board. What's going on, buddy, oh pal? Quite the successful weekend, and week for you, sir.
all the credit goes to AAA apparently, and I need to learn Spanish,
Hola.
quickly. I guess we'll start with that. The wicked response that I got to not only the pay-per-view day hangouts that we've been doing since the beginning of the year, but specifically to the AAA Nacho de las Grandes watch along this past weekend. Numbers went through the roof. And to the naysayers that are going to come is like, oh, that's not that big. Well, it's big for me, so you can fuck off and all.
It is a hell of an accomplishment, that's for certain. You had over 1,000, 1,500 people at least chatting live, which is, never mind watching.
You know what's ironic? I go back to that now, which is kind of useless because it's basically a screensaver. The total combined views on there are like 69,000.
So it's like incredible. Nice. Yeah, nice. That'll help watch time for sure. When that comes in, you're going to be a happy camper. But congrats to you, sir, for getting all those subs and engaging in some wonderful conversation, English and Spanish alike. People were just having a good time talking about the matches.
How fast can you Google Translate?
Yes, that was part of it too. But I started like copying generic phrases and putting them together in the chat, and then people were interacting with me, and it was a really cool.
Here. You got to go free on the YouTube.
Yeah, and I was able to redirect people to the free thing, which it's I wish there was a way, since there's already a YouTube channel playing it and you're on YouTube. I wish there was a way like we could watch it and play it, but it gives them the monetization. Like, I don't care about, you know what I mean? But
or like even be able to run like a split screen or something like that. But
exactly, like, you know, you take up a section.
Technical, legal, and financial angle, I don't know how that would work. I don't make money on YouTube, in case you guys haven't heard.
Yeah, but since you're logged in, you know, you would still count as a view for them. So it would be, you know, how you have collaborators. You know, you and I collab on a lot of things, and just like we collabed on the AAA review on my channel this weekend. The review was awesome. We had a lot of fun over there. The caucasity of it all.
Caucasity. Hashtag. I don't have any merch, but I swear to God, if I ever make any merch, the first shirt I'm making, big Spaz Phoenix logo on front, on the back. Hashtag. I can't believe the caucasity.
That's going to sell out.
Coming out of this weekend, couple of things. So clearly a AAA watch along is a successful thing for me. So I'm running it back this coming weekend. Same thing, starting at 2:00, even though the show doesn't start till like stupid o'clock. I'm not going to be home. Once again, I'm asking Jake to keep an eye on the chat. But if you guys are all out there and you guys want to share it around, I really would appreciate that as well. Also,
love to see you break 2,000 subscribers.
Good,
you know,
really, really good. Also, with the success of the hangout format that I've been doing since the beginning of the year, thought I'd try something a little different. Started it last night. Didn't really have anywhere to get on and promote it, because typically I would go over to KJ and Nick on the Raw review or the Raw stream and be like, hey, by the way, guys, I'm doing this new thing tomorrow, because they are ridiculously helpful to this channel as always. But I'm basically expanding the pay-per-view day hangout philosophy to Tuesday nights, going back to sort of the nuts and bolts of this channel. You guys know, for the large majority of the time that I've been on here, this has been an NXT channel. So we had the premiere last night of NXT Night Hangout. It's going to run from about 15 minutes before the show starts to about 15 minutes after the show ends. It's going to run every Wednesday. Tell your friends, tell your wife, all that kind of fun stuff. I hope to see you guys in the chat. NXT
every Tuesday for NXT. Excuse me. You said every Wednesday. But today is Wednesday.
Wednesday is the state of wrestling. We know that.
Yes.
Sorry. Every Tuesday. Remember when NXT was on Wednesday?
I do. See, so we're fondly calling back to yesteryear. But no, it's a lot of fun because people love stopping in there and just chatting about what's going on live. And it ended right about when we went live for the review. So people were coming over to say, hey, after that, it was really cool.
And I figured because I'm not always going to be home on a Monday. I'm not always Friday. Chances are pretty damn high that I'll be home on a Tuesday. And there's really wacky and ridiculous stuff to talk about on NXT because it's awesome. yeah, so we're gonna try the NXT night hangouts for a little bit, see if that takes off. Hope you guys join us for that. And remember when NXT was, and this is going to be a horribly obvious transition. Remember when NXT was on a Wednesday until AEW came to what's that word? Counter program it.
How dare you?
So now we know that the largest culprit of the counter programming is AEW, right?
They had
But
no intention to counter program, even though they were originally booked for Tuesdays. They had Tuesday Night Dynamite already trademarked and scheduled on the TV network. How dare you
it was the first live thing to exist on the WWE network, and they just happened to target it. And that's why they got upset by WWE moving it to television. It was like, oh, we can't pick on their network anymore.
And why Vince was upset with Triple H.
Oh, Vince is a weirdo with a funny mustache. Moving swiftly on. So that was counter programming. I've spent a lot of time on this channel bitching about counter programming, right?
Yes.
I'm switching my mentality slightly about counter programming. I have reached the point now, because obviously AEW is not going to stop doing it. I've switched my mentality now to everybody pull out your biggest weapons and may the last man standing.
Yeah.
Because, and we're going to get into
whoever's left standing wins, because we're getting a lot of that coming up.
Right now, what we have, and I'm going to go, I'm going to a lot of dates at you, a whole lot of hashtag coincidences that aren't really coincidences out there in a second. But right now, it basically feels like we've got a Survivor Series match of companies. Because right now, if you look at the bare bones of it, you've got WWE. I mean, I'm treating NXT like it's a separate thing at the moment for the purposes of this argument. But you've got WWE, NXT, AAA, and TNA versus AEW, ROH, CMLL, and New Japan.
You're not wrong. And
four
it's going to be one.
Seems pretty fair to me.
Yeah, and it's going to be one hell of a busy end of the month. So,
but we go, and if I'm gonna switch my mentality to, all right, it's cool, everybody pull your guns out as long as everybody can do it, and as long as you don't run a gas station or a convenience store. Moving swiftly on, TNA announced Slammiversary 2026 to be on what is it? June 28th this year. They made their announcement on April 9th. 6 days later, AEW announced Forbidden Door on the same day. And it wasn't counter programming. Oh, they always do Forbidden Door. What are you talking about? You're only sticking up for TNA because, they're associated with WWE. And I know I've been watching TNA for a buckload of a long time. Now, those same people have their panties in a knot because the Booker and Cooker of the Year, Shawn Michaels, came out last night and announced that, hey, guess what? On June 28th, we're going to do the Great American Bash.
And suddenly,
I can't believe they're counter programming. Blah, 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 blah.
It feels like the Wild West again,
It does.
The Cowboys setting out.
And here's the funny thing, right?
We're right into the sunrise, Spaz. Armed to the teeth. Ready to fight for our creed and our kind. The saddle's warm. The gunpowder in the air. Are you ready?
And you know what? They can copy our ideas, but they'll never have our fan base. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Nobody's delusional, right? NXT running Great American Bash, and I have to assume that they're running it at the PC because there was no location listed and I don't see any tickets on sale. So it's just at the PC, right? There's nobody out there saying that Forbidden Door is going to be outsold by Great American Bash. Nobody's saying that. We're just having a show. It's like Saturday night's main event. It's fine. Don't worry about it. TNA, even though they were the ones that got fucked because they were very clearly targeted as a smaller target, but will punish you for working with WWE, of like, we'll drop this on your head. They
Yes.
shifted their show to 3:00.
Yes, they moved
So you know
theirs to
what?
the afternoon to avoid the
Yep,
kerfuffle. And now
yep. And
WWE
that
was like, well, you do that to them, we're going to throw this out there.
yeah, don't pick on my little brother. I'll come back and smack you a little bit.
And don't
So
forget
there's
the
a
night
full
before, too. That's when the grenade is lobbed because we have the Night of Champions show.
right. Right. Okay, you know
That's
what?
why I
I didn't
said
even have
such a
I didn't
busy weekend.
busy weekend. And it's not like, you know, you don't get a full day's wrestling out of a TNA show and then an NXT show. And I mean, let's be real for a second. The TNA show is probably going to be bigger than the NXT show. Like I say,
Yeah, for
they haven't they
Slammiversary,
yeah.
I imagine so.
Well, this is the thing. One of their biggest, like, it's TNA. They are where they are at the moment, but it's their biggest show of the year. Of course, friggin' AEW, when they have the added benefit of working with an entire other company, by the way, um, of course they're gonna go drop and like try to put some wet blankets on TNA because, you know, reasons. Um, it's so funny that, oh my god, they're not picking on anybody, they're not picking any, but WWE is picking on us. Why? Because they're doing an NXT show in their own in-house studio, probably.
Yeah.
It's fucking madness. And I think it's so funny that yes, TNA works with WWE. TNA, I don't think everybody's like, oh, WWE is going to buy TNA. I don't think they have to.
I
Like
don't think they
they
have
can
to
just
either.
they can just have a common cause and a common enemy. Let's
They
be
could just
real for a
continue to
second.
work as they are right now, intermingling as such.
Yeah. And I mean, if they come together with a mutually beneficial goal, then that is what it is. If you can work together for a mutually beneficial goal, nobody has to eat the other one.
Exactly. You don't need to consume
Now
everyone
that
along the
now
way.
that being said, now that being said, everybody said they were going to ruin AAA when they bought AAA,
I mean,
and
and now look
yeah,
at it. It's bigger than ever. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
AAA
yeah.
was big in Mexico, but it wasn't big anywhere else, be honest.
Oh,
CMLL
but
had that role,
buddy, we will get to CMLL in a second.
and now they're
Yeah, oh,
spiraling.
but don't forget about CMLL. They have Mystico and they have Cesaro in a mask. But when WWE does it, it's bad for some reason. The math ain't mathing.
Yeah,
I saw the
it's a
greatest thing online.
problem.
We're not gonna dig too much into NXT from last night because NXT, I'm not gonna lie, is just kind of ticking along at the moment. But when the video
They're
package came on,
building. They're building
they're
toward.
building,
They're
yeah,
building up new characters. They're building up new feuds.
yeah.
They're advancing things along. So
It's
they're in the
building
part where
blocks.
they're making you care about the people in NXT before
Yeah,
they put them into feuds that you care about. So you're at that
they're
stage
doing
where you're learning about the people.
they're doing a better version of what they did when they dropped 2.0 in our laps.
Yes.
A much better version of that.
Here's the skateboarder and the sleepy girl and the now they've
Hey, put some
they've
respect
got
on Wendy too. She's the Evolve Women's Champion,
I know looks
and she
nothing
gets
like
this,
what she did before. My
and she
goodness.
gets to stand in the background of Natalia segments. What the fuck are we doing?
She is there.
Yeah,
I'm telling you
it's so
though.
funny. What's the Dave Meltzer actual website called?
Wrestling
I forget.
Observer.
Wrestling Observer, yeah. So
Yeah.
somebody came online the other day, and I was just watching, and it was like you could see it was a bunch of sock accounts arguing with each other, right? And it's like, oh look, now they're doing a beauty pageant for the men. You wouldn't see any weird, like pageant type stuff like this. You wouldn't see this in AEW. And somebody else came along right underneath, and they already have a pageant. It's called the Wrestling Observer.
Yeah. But they forget about like the dinner debonair and like I could think of so many the mimosa bath there that they
Most,
took.
and
Yeah.
the funny, okay, not the orange juice match. That was just stupid, right? But like some of the stuff that they shit on in WWE, like anything, basically anything fun, right? But when they break their own mold and do a quote unquote WWE thing, is like the only time it's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Like let's ride around on golf carts and pretend that we're Raven in the Big Show, and let's have war games, except we won't call it war games, and let's do a musical number with Chris Jericho and like slightly less famous Miz.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? WWE's got old people, but we've got Mick Foley with one more match and Edge and Christian as our current tag team. I like Edge and Christian, but the point is made. It's just a whole
They're
lot
like,
of
oh,
fun.
there's been older. What about when Ric Flair and Roddy Piper had the belts?
Uh-huh.
That's a
And
great example. Huh? That proves the point or what?
I bring you the Rock and Roll Express and AEW in the 2020s.
Yes. So we can
Moving
keep
moving
going.
swiftly on. But I just love it,
Regardless.
like, okay, we can't fuck with WWE because they'll kill us. So we'll go after their friend on one of their biggest nights because they're really the number 2. We'll squash them with one of our pay-per-views because we've got the extra backing of an actual legitimate company in New Japan.
Yeah.
But then we'll cry on the same day when WWE apparently does the same thing by having a developmental pay-per-view in their own studio that has no chance of encroaching on them anyway. Jake, the math ain't mathin'.
Make it make sense, Spaz. It hurts my head.
They don't make dollars because they don't make sense.
And that's why we poop on company time.
Ha ha ha. But you know what's funny? That day, that whole weekend that we just talked about would be enough of a funny, it would be enough of an amusing, oh my god, they're counter programming us, but not really.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, any counter programming that they do specifically using NXT is karma.
But they, like you said, they did it to counter program TNA. TNA already had the day. So how
TNA
can they
day.
claim that NXT is counter programming? It doesn't fit even
TNA
the narrative.
already had the day. TNA already had the day. TNA already had made their announcement. They waited almost a week later to make theirs, to squash ticket sales, to do whatever. They conveniently move Collision to Thursday every now and then when they're feeling spiteful. They purposely bury the former TNA talent on the AEW roster, which is counterproductive to anything. Who's doing better, Trey Miguel or the rest of the Rascal?
Yeah, no kidding. And then on top of it, the 3-hour shows people are so burnt out on because no one's there to watch 3 hours of Dynamite with an hour in the end called Collision, treated like Collision, but really it's the 3rd hour of Dynamite.
See, here's the thing, right? And this is where I have to watch my balance a little bit because I don't mind 3-hour SmackDown. I don't mind 3-hour Raw.
But they don't write it as a 3-hour Dynamite. They write it as a 2-hour Dynamite and then an hour of the 2nd hour of Collision.
Yes.
And that's the problem. Yes, thank you.
They didn't throw you their main event an hour before the end of the show, I'd be like, okay, AEW is obviously not my cup of tea. Every now and then they want to give them an extra hour. They want to have basically forget what they call it. Forget what like the cute little double graphic thing that they do when it's Dynamite / Collision, even though we're also having Collision on Saturday. Make it make sense.
Yeah, again, yeah, exactly.
Why are you doing your main event at the 10 o'clock hour? And a little bit of bonus trivia for you. If you're in Canada, I used to say if you're in Canada, you don't get the 3rd hour. Now it's if you're in Canada, now it's if you're in Canada, you have to switch channels after the 2nd hour.
Hey, at least you get it though, right? That's the key.
Here's the thing as well, because we get what's it called? We get Dynamite on TSN.
Yeah.
For 8 from 8 to 10, right? And if there's an overrun, we get the overrun. It doesn't just cut off, right? When they do this, when they do the Collision, when they do Collision at all, it's on, ironically enough, it's on Canada's version of the USA Network.
So
figure that one out. It's not your USA Network. Canada has its own USA Network. Make that make sense, right? But if there's the main event, like what was the main event last week? It was the I don't even remember because it's AEW.
Yeah.
But like if the hour 2 main event runs over, it runs over on TSN where the show originally was, right? And what they do on the USA Network, they hold up the beginning of the show on the USA Network, And whenever that match ends and Collision officially begins, you get like 47 minutes of Collision on the other channel.
Which is
It's so fucked up and out of the way. It's the
Yeah.
worst. It's the worst
So
thing they've done.
convoluted. Such a difficult task for viewers. Oh, you got to change channel 1? It's more than that. Because like you said, it's not a clean break even. There's always a run over. It extends far too
Here's the
long.
thing. They're doing an overrun and they're competing with their own show. It's almost like when they were doing pay-per-views and they set up a kickoff show to counter program their own countdown show.
Yeah.
It's a mess, right? But June 28th.
Oh, we got the countdown show. Well, what happened to the kickoff show? Oh, that's still happening. After this? No, now.
The kickoff is happening, and you don't see the matches that are happening on the kickoff because the countdown has the matches. The kickoff doesn't. But if you're watching the kickoff, you can hear the matches happening in the background.
Again, make it make sense.
But here's the thing. The counter programming thing is always funny because AEW are always the first one to swipe and the first ones to cry when they get swiped back, right? June 28th is going to be a clusterfuck, especially coming off the back of a Saudi show. You got Slammiversary, you got Great American Bash. They're doing some open door nonsense. That would be enough of an entertaining counter programming conversation for one podcast, would it not?
Oh, absolutely.
But wait, there's more. What did we just say this past weekend? Where did they have? I mean, they had a great success in Italy as well. Don't get me wrong. But where did they have their big success this past weekend?
I believe it was in Mar-a-Lago. No, it was Mexico.
Okay, so you saw the crowd. The crowd was
my God.
The crowd was electric. Americano versus Americano is up there for match of the year. From bell to bell, from the beginning.
It was ranked number 2 on Cage Match almost all weekend, and now it's ranked like number 60 something, which is still like very, very high.
And that's a whole lot of people doing spiteful voting as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying too. Like a lot of people fucked the rating up by giving it negatives or 1 stars, so they're trying to remove the illegitimate new account voting and see what happens. It's hard to get a perfect, accurate vote online, but seems like Undertaker truly knocked it out of the park.
I think it's really telling that it was received so well that on Netflix they just tacked a replay of that match on the end of Raw.
Oh yeah, because Netflix was like, we want that. We want it. We want that. How come we didn't get it? Look at the drawing power this has had. How did we not have this? You gave us all this other shit, but you couldn't give us this. And then on top of it, it was completely produced by one man. Pete Dunne.
Was it Borat? Oh, the match.
The match. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the whole show. I'm like,
Pete Dunne Pete Dunne did the entire match. He produced the entire match himself for Grande versus El Grande, and that's incredible because it was so well wrestled. Story was exceptional. It doesn't surprise me.
And I hate to say this because you never want this kind of bullshit to happen to somebody. You know, the people tuning into AAA are the ones that don't just like tune in for a random Raw here and there. They're a little more in tune. Yes. You've got to know that all the bullshit Kaiser went through that week leading into that show was in the front of everybody's mind, and listen to the response.
They made him cry. They legit brought him to tears, and I don't blame him. I mean, he thought he was going to be canceled and destroyed. And
well, do you blame him? Like, look at the world we live in. Can't even defend your own business. You can't even
defend your own, significant other, any of it. It's all you're toxic and you're too masculine to be around anybody else, apparently. And it's funny. I don't want to degrade him, but yes.
Pause. Should have said this at the beginning. Gonna say it now. I know it's Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to everybody. However you're celebrating, however you're doing your due. Also want to double down and send you guys over to our friends over at the Wrestling for Life Network because I know they're going to be doing more content on stuff like this. Happy Men's Mental Health Month as well for the month of June. Check on your bros, check on your friends. Hashtag anybody can be a bro. Yeah.
Absolutely. We're big supporters on the channel of both things. We've got our Pride intro and banner, and then of course, our whole thing has always been about welcoming everybody. It's not an agenda thing. It's like everybody's human, everybody's welcome. Like that's the point. It's about making everyone feel like an individual that matters. And then on top of it, men's health is a very important thing and near and dear to my heart, your heart, and
Yep.
many others. So check out the
And
Wrestling for
I'm
Life
not here
guys,
to make it
please.
a I'm not here to make it a one side versus other side thing. This is
No,
one of the things where I'm not going to be super tribalistic on it. But if
men's
you're one of
health
those
isn't
dicks,
fuck women. Like people
yeah,
misconstrue that all the time, but
I mean, it's not feminism.
no, but
But like, oh well, why do you need a men's mental health month? I'm like, I don't know. We're all control alt deleting each other and like record numbers.
yeah, like they said,
Like,
every June it brings to light the treatment and early detection of mental health diseases amongst men and boys because it shows how preventative screenings, mental health, and lifestyle choices can really tick these numbers up because it was such a strong in favor of men self-deleting that it really, really, really became a crisis.
I will say, I'll obviously put it out there because we are in June and whatnot. I'm not one of the most like well-read people on the topic. I'll reiterate, go check out KJ and Nick. I know they're going to be doing some. I'm pretty sure they're doing another Men's Mental Health Day stream thing. I will also encourage any of you out there that are on YouTube or on Instagram, go look up a content creator named Roma Army.
She's great.
She's an amazing content creator. She's not like Jake said, like not out there hating on women, just like
No, she's a real ally though. She gets it.
she's shining a light on like some men's issues from the female perspective, which is also super helpful. Like for some
Desperately
guys
needed,
out
yeah.
there, that like don't think that we have any allies on the other side of the line. People like Roma Army, people like the Dadvocate. There's another one that was on Crowder a couple of weeks ago whose name I can't remember, and if I can remember, I'll put it in the information down below. But there's stuff out there, and obviously the cut and paste thing is there's professionals out there. If you need help, go get help. Nothing wrong with it. Check on your people. Check on your dads and grandpas and uncles and friends and brothers and nephews and sons and
Neighbors and old
I'm gonna be
friends, all of it.
I'm gonna be cheesy with it all month. Hashtag anybody can be a bro. But yeah, sorry, I meant to say that at the beginning, so I've just jammed it in here super awkwardly. Pause.
Yeah.
Let's get back to making fun of
So,
AEW.
well, what I was saying was with you have a C player in El Grande Americano being Ludwig Kaiser.
Yep.
You know, Marcel Bartel went ahead and came in as, the best friend of Gunther, but he was an Imperium. They captured titles in NXT UK and whatnot, but he never achieved like great success. He had the announcer thing going on, but it was never like this next level incredible thing.
Yeah.
And I don't mean
I
it
remember
rudely.
seeing Marcel Barthel before he actually debuted in WWE. He was at an NXT house show at the old Maple Leaf Gardens, and he was
Yes.
taking on Ty Dillinger, right? And he was like freaking out, like anytime he was about to get attacked, he'd be like 9, 9, 9. And because Ty Dillinger had the 10 gimmick at the time, it was like
Yep.
9, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10. It's kind of like my view count up until I got over the hump, as it were.
Yes, through the weekend.
But anyways, the reason I bring up AAA, not only because it was an amazing show, and I wish it was getting more coverage. Quite frankly, like I covered it, you covered it. I know that our friends over at the Wrestling for Life covered it. I know that there's a lot of people online trying to sort of like petition Simon Miller to talk about it because he's like the super positive wrestling guy.
Yes.
I'd love to see his take on some stuff as well. But the insane reaction that they got down in Mexico there, for not only the main event, obviously, but you had Ray Phoenix and Laredo Kid opening up the show, setting the ring on fire. I mean, they taped the second night of events the same night, so I'm assuming the energy is still up. The War Raiders getting the tag titles was fun. I know it wasn't everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody is into the War Raiders. Not everybody likes the clowns. You had a lot of like interplay and storytelling between Vikingo and Dr. Wagner, which was one that you and I were actually apprehensive about. I think they delivered in spades.
Yes.
The crowd was amazing. The crowd was receptive. The crowd gave back.
They were incredible.
So you would want to go and say, like they always say with Paris, oh, Paris is the measuring stick. Listen to the reaction that they got there. Other places, Italy was great, especially on Raw, with the response that Roman Reigns got to open up Raw, even though it was just a talking segment, and it was insane. But you would want to make sure this place that shows us this much love, that shows us how much the US and Canada need to step up with their awesome crowd reaction, you want to go back there as soon as possible, right?
Exactly.
So they announced the WWE Mexico tour. Now this is where it gets a little convoluted. But from September 9th to September 14th, Wednesday night there's a house show, Thursday night there's a house show. Friday night there's a SmackDown, and on the same Friday, the first night of Triple Mania is in Vegas. We talked about why there's a day in between the 2 days of Triple Mania. It's because they're going from Vegas back to Mexico. Sunday night, there's Triple Mania Night 2 in Mexico, and on Monday, there's a Raw.
Yeah.
That's all. That's a lot of
travel.
That's a lot of Mexico.
Well, look at El Grande. I mean, Kaiser, like I started to say before, he was only ever a C character. No one expected him to excel like this, and he got to step up into a role and become the guy. It shows you that, they all have incredible talent. It's just a matter of being able to showcase that talent in the proper role. And he had to be on Raw for what? It was to display or introduce the match again that night, but really he had to go from Mexico all the way to Italy just to show up and go, hey, come watch the match again that we just had in Mexico. That's a long ass flight to do that. I don't know if they're keeping him there to do other events in the next few weeks and stuff, but still the point was holy hell.
But I'm just saying, okay, before I get to my next funny point, because it's hilarious and it's very, very predictable. We know that Triple Mania, one of the main events is going to be El Grande Americano, the only El Grande Americano, cashing in the Rey de Reyes sword that he won back to Rey de Reyes to face Dominic Mysterio. Have I mentioned Dominic Mysterio is also over as fuck?
He's still extremely over, but I feel like they cooled him off a little bit, and they had to, unfortunately, because the way they had to do the mask match and other things to build his competitor. Yeah, but
the thing was he couldn't defend his title at Noche de los Grandes because we knew his next title defense was going to be against El Grande, and El Grande was the one that was in the main event. I understood that.
Yes,
but you know what? On Raw, they I don't know what they're doing. He's even said it in interviews. I don't think they know what me, but all he has to do is show up on the ramp and smile on a AAA show, and the crowd will be just as much, right? So the question I have, and this is sort of a side tangent from the point that I'm actually making, do you put it, because part of the reason that they're doing night one in Vegas is because a lot of representatives will be there. Like Vegas is a big entertainment hub and all that kind of thing. They're trying to land AAA on a TV deal, or maybe convince Netflix to get them on as part of the Netflix thing, which would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
So with that in mind, do you put Grande versus Dom on night one in Vegas or on night two in Mexico?
I would Grande and Dom. I would put in Mexico.
Yeah. Because
because Grande's been talking Spanish since he was young, I guess. He loves the culture. He loves luchadors, Kaiser. And that's why he fit in so well, because he was very genuine. It wasn't bullshit. He was very legitimate. Yeah.
He took something that was supposed to be offensive to the Mexican culture and handed it back to them. I think
he made it very endearing and powerful and a symbol of hope and all these things.
WWE's not really good at, how can I say, like, meaningful stuff a lot of the time, like outside of the bubble of wrestling. Make a very meaningful wrestling story. That's one thing. Make a very a story that feels personal to the audience you're in front of is a very different kind of thing. And I think we can admit WWE whiffs on that more often than they hit a lot of the time.
Often, yeah.
But it's one of those things where you want to put the best foot forward. And we know, kind of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge, why they're doing the Vegas bid in Vegas. So like, hey, here's the best that we've got.
Yeah.
to do more and more and more. But then that's not exactly the crowd that loves these guys like Mexico does.
Yeah.
So it's one of those like,
What
what
do
are
I
we doing?
do?
I think
Yeah.
it's going to become the WrestleMania argument. Like, there's one main event, and the one main event is the main event of night 2.
Yes.
But,
You can
but I
main event
mean,
night 1, but you are not the main event of WrestleMania.
you're either the main event or you're Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair.
Yes.
Moving swiftly on.
Regardless.
Now, the reason I bring all this up in our massive counter programmapalooza podcast is, I say again, the dates, 9th to the 14th, house show, SmackDown, Triple Mania, Raw, 9th to the 14th, right? The outcry from the other side, WWE's only doing this to be spiteful. They're trying to fuck with CMLL because CMLL are friends with AEW. And it's like, no, just because AEW did that to TNA for that reason does not mean WWE is doing the same thing.
No.
Here's the thing.
We have a working relationship with TNA, or excuse me, AAA. So, of course, WWE is going to do that. Why? Because they bought the fucking company. Like, of course, they're going to, like...
That's not a working relationship. It's a WWE
Well,
brand.
that's what I was being sarcastic idiot about. But that's my point. Like, they forget this. They treat it like it's, oh, how dare WWE help them out? It's their own fucking brand.
Here's the thing, though. Because the lie gets more specific. WWE only chose that particular weekend because they want to fuck with CMLL's 93rd anniversary show. There's a problem with that accusation, though.
Yeah, history would tell us otherwise, wouldn't it?
No, there's a more basic problem with that.
Oh, yeah?
This Mexico tour runs from the 9th to the 14th. Ask me when the 93rd anniversary show is.
When is that?
It's not till the 18th.
Oh, see? Look at that. And the fact that, like I said, they had things booked long before theirs was even announced for CMLL.
It's so funny. Like, why would you pick on them just because they're working with us? Well, first of all, we're not, because they're not on the same day. Second of all, that is literally what you're doing to TNA.
Yes, you actually found a TNA show and said, I'm going to make them move. And they had to move. AEW made TNA reschedule their show to the afternoon. That's counter-programming with the goal accomplished.
See, I wish there's a part of me, and it's the part, it's the part that's spiteful. It's the part that's, as bad as they are. Instead of moving their show, I wish Carlos had sat down with like Triple H and Nick Khan and been like, can you get us a bigger building? Can you get us a building that'll sell us really cheap tickets? Let's do a big mega show. Let's make Slammiversary this year a mega show. Have it be like TNA versus proper main roster WWE versus AAA and Noah, and like, sell out fucking like, hey, Triple H, get on the phone, get us into Madison Square Garden. Let's fuck them in the ass. But no, TNA didn't do that. They've got a big brother they can call, and they didn't do it.
Here's the thing. I've actually heard otherwise, Spaz, recently.
What's that?
That they have reached out, they have asked for help, and it's fallen upon deaf ears. But then they keep getting asked to do things for them. Can you put this person on? Can you, help us with this show? Or they said lately TKO has made it feel like a one-sided street, allegedly.
And that's kind of funny, because other than Stax and Ariana Grace being on Impact, they've kind of cooled down on any crossover.
That's kind of what I'm saying, is like they've only asked for things they want, which is like, can you help NXT? But they haven't continued to follow up with things or allow them to. And apparently they were supposed to help them secure a bigger venue at one point, and that didn't follow through, and it kind of screwed them into something smaller than what was planned. I don't know if it's true, but again, it is an interesting conversation.
If you're TNA, like, I like TNA, but I also want them to stay reasonable. Like, don't fall into the trap that AEW did of, we're only selling a couple thousand tickets, but let's go try to run a 10,000 seat building.
Yeah.
I would rather see you sell out. And I say this for anybody. I say this for like the good guys on our side or the guys on the side. I'm an asshole. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But like anybody, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, AAA, TNA. I don't really watch Noah, but I hope they're doing well. AEW, ROH, CMLL, New Japan, whatever. I would rather see them sell out standing room only in a 5,000 seater arena than sell 5,001 tickets in a 10,000 seater arena.
Because
it doesn't help anybody.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, that that year that I went to Scotiabank Arena and it was like Money in the Bank / Heatwave.
Yes.
I went to Money in the Bank and they were jacked and stacked. I went back for Heatwave the next night, and I'll be honest. I'll put my hand on my heart. I'll raise the other hand up in the air, and I'll be honest about it. They were not jacked and stacked for Heatwave. I'm just putting it out there.
Funny though, isn't that crazy how it works? And ended up being such a damn good show too. But
it was a good show. But like, I'm not delusional enough to pretend that that the same amount of people that are watching WWE are watching NXT.
Oh yeah, we know the realism. Like when I saw.
We know where we stand.
Yes, when I saw Adam Cole take on Johnny Gargano, like the crowd was insane, and it was like 8 or 10,000 people.
Yeah.
But even then, like you weren't gonna sell more than that, even though it was at like a breaking point in a fever pitch.
Well, see,
that was the ceiling.
Back in the Adam Cole era, when it was like proper black and yellow NXT takeover,
kind of an indie feeling, yeah.
But that's the thing. Like it was more indie. And they almost did fill Scotia. Now that it's NXT just being NXT, I know it's just a name, right? And I know it shouldn't mean anything. Ever since they haven't been called takeovers anymore, they haven't been takeovers anymore.
No. They also haven't treated them the same because they wouldn't happen every month to 5 weeks. It would happen every 4 times a year. So you would get these bigger feuds and longer built factions, storylines, and things would happen not at a slower pace, but like built better.
You know what I do wish though?
They had an hour show to do it too, so
yeah. But it was also a weird time because a lot of people that were tuning in for takeovers, that was their NXT for the month because a lot of people weren't watching the weekly hour long. It's like I'll catch the video package and I know the pay-per-view will be good on the.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of I've heard this argument from both sides of the fence, from people that like AEW and people that don't like AEW. Like Dynamite's shit.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, they're gonna give you a spectacle on the pay-per-view. Double or Nothing was a show, and they did well because the New York State Athletic Commission made Tony Khan temper his like more extreme
actions,
inclinations. Yeah. But like it's very much a skip Dynamite, when's the next pay-per-view? Okay, I'll catch that. Very early NXT was very much like when they were taping in blocks like they do with Impact now. Mm-hmm. And I would watch the one live episode, and I'm not gonna lie, I read ahead. I saw what was going on. I looked forward to it because it was good stuff. But
it wasn't must see. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only must see was the live episode. Yeah,
I want to say the other way around. I want to say that I was enjoying it so much at the time that reading the spoilers didn't spoil it for me.
Yeah, because I still wanted to watch. That's true.
Yeah,
I still watched every week knowing what was going to happen. Yeah,
I was doing NXT reviews every week. I was crazy back then.
Yeah, I even joined you for a few of them. Like you was towards the end there. It happened well, so.
Then I turned it into WWE last week. Your weekly look back at the week that was in WWE.
I forgot about that. Yes, that was good though.
But yeah, WWE running a show in Mexico from the 9th to the 14th is somehow vicious counter programming to CMLL, who's doing a show like a week later.
They're so rude and so evil, even though.
You know what it makes me think of? How long did we wait? I don't say we. I say we don't fucking need to do like separate gender shows. Yeah. But a lot of people for a long time waited for them to do a second Evolution, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, Evolution's counter programming AEW. Why?
Yeah.
Well, because we had a show last night. What?
And it wasn't an all-women show, so you're trying to make us look bad.
But
remember that was the sentiment too. You're trying to make us look bad.
But like last night, there was a different show. Yeah, that was Saturday night's main event. That's not even a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But you did. Yeah, but you did an NXT show too. Yeah, that was in the middle of the day before your shit started. Yeah, but.
yeah, but never do. I guess what it feels like.
Your big vicious bullying counter programming was a developmental show that didn't match up with your show at all. An all women's that didn't match up with your show at all, and a extra bit of weekly television that everybody tells me is so garbage anyway. In Saturday night main event.
They hate it.
I mean, it's not like it's Battle of the Belts.
No, it could be worse.
Anyways,
their own damn champions.
But yes, so I'll say it before, I'll say it again. Right now, we are fully up to the nuts in the guts of WWE, NXT, TNA, AAA versus AEW, ROH, CMLL, and NJPW.
Yes.
Let the best team win, and we will.
And it'll happen.
And we will. The other thing I wanted to touch on is another one of the things that nobody cares about until they get to bitch about it. King and Queen of the Ring kind of came out of nowhere.
Kind of just happened. And funny enough, WWE.com had a completely different booked bracket than what was out on their social media and TV. So Omos was involved in the main bracket on WWE.com. Like, it was nuts. There was a few big changes and people were in different brands. And
I will say there's already been a major injustice. Huge injustice.
Yeah.
You would never believe it. I would never say
could.
Man. And my computer's not working. So Jake's going to have to say something for a second.
Your huge injustice, even though Bronson Reed got into a car accident, he got rear-ended. That's an injustice. The man's trying to make a comeback, and here he is getting hit from behind.
That, like, she got rear-ended and got a raise, and maybe I can get rear-ended.
You beat me to it,
I don't want to get into prediction territory, but I do. For a second, I want to look into the fields, and then the bigger part of the conversation is going to be how stupid and how scraping people are as far as like, oh, we don't really care about King and Queen of the Ring, but also let me tell you about how terrible King and Queen of the Ring. So I'm going to go
kind of baffling.
Even with the matches that we've already had, I'm just going to read out the full brackets because what I have in front of me is
right
an empty
ahead,
bracket.
Please.
Let's not exactly say that we don't have star power. And the people that are like, oh my god, they don't know how to push new talent, didn't watch WrestleMania. That's all I got. But we got Penta, Obafemi, Solo Sikoa, Carmelo Hayes, Dominic Mysterio, Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, Javon Evans, Tala Tonga, Ricky Saints, Jey Uso, LA Knight, and Royce Keys and Finn Balor. Finn Balor, who's now on SmackDown, which was going to be a separate topic until we got into all the programming nonsense.
It's funny how that worked out. But
long story short, it's not any kind of big mystery. They want him away from the Judgment Day now that story's done, and he's got like 100 new opponents.
Away from the Judgment Day, he's back with Damian and Rhea. And
if you break away from the Judgment Day and turn babyface, you end up on
SmackDown. Yeah, it just happens.
It's the blue brand where all the cool kids hang out. But I mean, yeah, it's not a bad field.
It's not. I mean, he's got something there.
On the other side, we got Kiana James, JC Jane, Raquel Rodriguez, Bailey, Lash Legend, Julia, Io Sky, Roxanne Perez, Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair. I was about to say Ric Flair there because I'm a moron. Lyra Valkyria, Sol Ruka, Chelsea Green, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and conversation point number one. Oh my god, I can't believe they're pushing Liv Morgan down our throats by putting her in the tournament, even though she's a champion. World champions have been in the Royal Rumble. Fuck off.
Yeah, see, that's not what bothers me. It's because realistically, like, she shouldn't be in there, but they have her in there just to fill time until Stephanie returns. So I know they tried to give it an explanation and what they did. It just felt very not great to me for the reasons they gave with Liv. It ended up being just more confusing.
the speech that she
Yeah.
made at the after show. Apparently,
Yes.
she did. Is the rumor that I've heard? Like she found out live
Oh,
and
that would
and
explain a
reacted
good deal. I
and
mean,
rea- But you know what the thing is? Like that's awkward as shit, right? But
yes.
there's also something kind of cool about being in front of everybody and finding out, hey, fuck, I might have two belts.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: people are getting themselves twisted up in knots because she hasn't had a match and she hasn't defended her title, even though nobody had that same exact problem when it was Lash Legend. But it's fine; don't worry about it. So she's not participating. She's not doing anything. She's just hanging out with the other two, and she's just hanging out at ringside. And I love the new one now. She's just Dominic Mysterio's arm candy,
Yeah.
except he's the world champion.
Exactly. And
So that
that's what
doesn't
that's the problem I have is that, oh, she's taken such a freaking massive backseat role to all of this because why? She's the world champ. Like that's where I'm at with it. Like what
But
is
here's the thing.
going on?
I will say the same thing about her not wrestling as much as what I say about her being in the tournament. You can make sense of both of them. She's already the champion. If you want to think of like they live on Raw and Raw is their whole world, she's already as high as she can be on the roster. How else can I make myself look good? I can help my friends cheat and they can become tag team champions. And in my own mind, because I have an ego, I can say, hey, not only am I a champion, but I'm a champion maker. I'm the
Yeah.
leader of this group. You can continue the Judgment Day story that way. Now, will they ever become tag team champs? Probably not. Is it going to
No.
lead to her and Roxanne Perez going one-on-one at some point in a match that will be fantastic and yet will be underrated by some? Absolutely. Will Raquel Rodriguez fade into
I
the
hope.
background? Unfortunately, probably.
Yeah. I hope, that they can have that, but I don't see them winning the tag titles. And
But
after
here's
Liv defended against Stephanie, they're saying right here she's wrestled one match since then, which is against Sol Ruca the night after WrestleMania in Vegas. And they let it be known on the takedown in SI that Morgan's inactivity over the last few weeks in greater detail showed the rationale behind the decision that has been made. They basically let it known that the mentality is they've planned out with her involves Stephanie. Stephanie's not ready yet, so it's that simple. When she's ready, they will resume. Now they feel like they're going to have to do something with her in the meantime and have her get that next step without Stephanie. So Liv has just been existing, like you said, Dom's manager, Judgment Day manager, not really doing anything. Excuse me. It says right here though that the plan is to get her out of the background as she's faded into that, since that's all she does in her own faction. But
and see, here's the thing though, like, and this is a credit to her, not a credit to the creative. I don't see her as being faded out because she's the type of talent and the type of personality. She doesn't have to be in the match to steal the focus of the match. And I know that sounds like a cop out.
It's not. She doesn't, but they just haven't put her in any of those situations. Like that's the problem. So she's not even stolen the scenery while being in the background.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, and I put this back on WWE's creative. It's on them to make this actually work.
Yeah,
I could tell you right now whether it's helping the other ones get the tag titles, whether it's her just being in the background, or whether it's her being in this tournament. I can tell you 100 ways to make her inactivity work for the story.
yeah.
I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer because, as I say, if you want to say I'm already the champion, I'm already on the top of the heap, and I'm so good that even the people that are with me become tag champions, right? Now that may not necessarily happen, but it might happen in another way. Hey, I'm in this tournament, but hey, Raquel, so are you. Roxy, sorry about your luck. That's not going to fan any flames of any dissent there. Sorry about your luck. You already lost. I'm focusing on Raquel now because when Raquel wins, oh, we're definitely going to send her over to the other show to get that other title. It's definitely not going to come back and bite me in the ass.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to put myself through this tournament because, if one belt is good, two belts must be better. Like, there's so much
you would think that would be what happened because she's kind of saying that too. She's like, I have the most dominant faction. The girls are watching, the girls are pussies, but they're not dumb. And she says that yeah, right. She goes, I, Liv Morgan, the Liv Morgan, am 3-time world champ, 4-time tag team champ, inaugural crown jewel champ, Money in the Bank winner, Rumble winner. I have no challengers for my channel, my
world
title.
champion of all time.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm going to win Queen of the Ring tournament because I am better than everyone
And
else, and I want to prove it.
As my new friend Becky would say, it's not just me saying it, it's the Bleacher Report saying it. It's Sports Illustrated saying it.
That's what you're here for. You know, it works, but it's still just like,
here's what nobody wants to hear. Let's take one person that's like unduly hated in Liv Morgan and put her up against another person that's unduly hated. Because Liv Morgan, at least on the face of it, her motivation in this tournament has to be, I've already got a champion. And she made the joke, I think, oh, when I win the tournament, I'm going to face myself at SummerSlam, which was it was a little cringe. But if she was finding out live on the night, I'll forgive a cringe line. But also, she's a heel. She should say some cringe shit.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. The only other option is if she wins the tournament, she goes after the other title. And
which is her and Rhea, yeah.
Look at her. I'm sorry. People are going to say that I'm just using cut and paste terminology here, but it's the cut and paste terminology that we all agree on when we sign in on our YWC contract in the beginning of life. You get Morgan in her highest regard, Rhea Ripley in her highest regard. What is that? That is the long-awaited end of what? Not only Judgment Day storytelling, but long-term storytelling.
Yeah.
Me and Damien went to a completely different show to get away from you assholes. Liv Morgan comes away. Well, you can't escape me.
Can't escape fate. So that's why I think Liv is going to win that first round.
The last time that Rhea Ripley was on Raw saying goodbye to Io Sky when they broke up for the second time, and it was weird. And
a little wave.
You had Liv Morgan sitting on one of those production crates. I want to know what's actually in those production crates, or are they just props? But she was just sitting there.
A lot of times they do hold a lot of the gear, like the wires, cables, lights, but...
I'm being a bit facetious.
No, I know you are, but I'm saying, like, but some they do have specifically for props. Yeah. So.
I understand somebody getting hit in the head with a rolling case that just happens to be there rather than, there just happens to be a very specific weapon like a kendo stick wrapped in barbed wire under the ring. But she barely even looked up as Rhea Ripley was leaving Raw for the last time, and she just said, like, sort of, see you around, champ.
Yes.
That's all you need. That's your hook.
That worked.
That's it. And I'm sorry. Oh, they just do a little something in the background of a backstage segment, and they think they're telling stories. They are.
They absolutely are. And that's why I said to you, I think Liv's going to win the first round because they've got enough going on with everybody else. And then the real interesting part of this tournament to me is that the next set is Sol, Lyra, Flair, and Jade. So Flair and Jade have this ongoing rivalry still.
Flair and Jade are going to take each other. I'm sorry, I know I just cut you off there.
No,
Flair and Cargill are going to take each other
to your doorstep.
That'll be the next feud now that Jade has failed to get her title back. She's going to go after Flair. That's a match a lot of people want to see. Valkyria is there to eat the pin. I hate to say it. I like Lyra. I wish they would do more with Lyra, but she's there to eat the pin. And Sol Ruka. Can I side tangent once again?
Really quickly before you do that, before you get to Sol, I just was worried because Bayley was upset Lyra's getting the match coming up, the title match. So maybe Lyra gets cost the match by Bayley. Never know. Just a thought. But yes, your side tangent about Sol.
Side tangent, right? Because she's going to win and go forward. And in the next round, we're going to get a rematch of Liv Morgan and Sol Ruka, and it'll be fine, and she'll get over doing the botch, whatever. People really need to fuck off with how they're all over Sol Ruka's ass. Because it was one thing to be like, oh, she's botching. Nobody's ever botched before. We've never dropped anybody off the lift. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But now they're going after her, like, family and heritage and shit.
It's so ridiculous.
It's so weird. Because all there is there's a bunch of, like, dirt sheets and, like, not even, like, big ones, just, like, low-level dirt sheets because Sol Ruka is mixed ethnicity. Her dad is black. I don't know what her mom is. And let me say, before we get into this, I acknowledge fully and completely that I'm just a random white dude in Canada. Jake's just a random white dude in the States, right?
Yes.
We're not speaking on this like expert, right?
No, not at all.
But they're putting out like good feeling like stuff of like, congratulations, Sol Ruka, the first person of like Black heritage to hold this particular iteration, the Women's Intercontinental Championship, right? And everybody's coming out with the like hashtag she ain't black enough
Yeah,
or
the
anything.
pitchforks are showing because of jealousy,
It's like,
and we don't want her. It's the same thing as Lizzo saying, "I don't want white people listening to my music." You know, like it's more
but what's funny about
gatekeeping
that is
and straight up
her own
racism.
Lizzo's fans got mad at her for losing weight, which is weird.
Yeah,
I'm just putting that one out there.
well, because she was so fat is beautiful, fat is power, and the first
Yeah.
chance she had to take Ozempic, she ran to it. So
I mean, I get it, but in the long run, it's better for you. So
it
even
is,
if she's
but that's defeating
even
the
if she's
point
a
of
hypocrite,
her. Yeah, that was the
trust me,
thing. Like, yeah,
I'm not here loving on Lizzo, but like, yes,
No.
she's a hypocrite, but like ultimately you're mad at her because she's improving herself. It's
But it
weird.
was just the hypocrite of such a nature. Like, I'll never take that shit. You'll never change me. I'm happy with who I am. Love at any size.
Oh yeah, no. I understand the hypocrite argument.
Yeah. So that
I
that
I
puts
did
the
not mean
blinders on for
Yeah.
people to have compassion about her health and
Yeah.
length of her survivability and all of that.
In a million years, I never thought the Queen of the Ring tournament would tangent into a conversation about Lizzo's weight loss.
Right?
Sol Ruka, I don't think so. And
yeah.
Sol Ruka herself has come out and she says, "Well, I don't really come out here to like present myself as a black person and all this type of stuff."
That's
It's
why
like
I
her
don't think it even needs to be mentioned in the first place, because she's not out there being like, as
No,
a
she
proud
isn't.
black
But,
woman.
like,
So I get the
nobody-
point behind it, and it's like, okay, it's got a nice sentiment, but it just leads to more problems, and it's probably why she doesn't want to
people that are-
address it
that are
anyways.
shining a light. The people that are shining a light on that aren't trying to say that she's black. She's saying she has like she's of mixed
Heritage,
heritage.
yes.
Everybody else that's held that particular belt is as white as you and me.
Yep.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
I get the. I'm just saying, like, I bet you she wishes they didn't even shine a light with good intentions, because then it leads to this
Right.
shit where it's
But
the
okay,
constant
let me put it
nitpicking.
to you like this, and this might be a really corny way to look at it. And again, I'm the last person that should be commenting on this. I just think it's so fucking ridiculous. Imagine it this way: her dad is the first black dude to be able to say, "My daughter is the Intercontinental Champion,"
Oh yeah.
and that's everything and nothing, right? But it bothered me so much. Or it didn't bother me, but like I'm like, it's going to bother some. It's like when the MJF and Juice Robinson stuff, when they went like heavy on like
Anti-Semitism
MJF
quarters.
MJF's
Yeah.
religion. I can't say it bothers me because it's not directed at me, but it's just one of those like, either way, why are you saying like, because she said
Because
it
you
herself,
still
like,
have enough compassion in you and empathy to
I
relate
think
and
about other,
establish.
human beings. How stupid of me, but you know what I mean.
And that's what
But
I'm
it's one
saying.
of those
I don't
things-
want to see Soul in this position when she's worked so hard to
No.
achieve things, and that
And
was
she's
part
already
of the
saying
Soul
shit
Snatcher
like-
thing. It's
Yeah.
not a normal move. It really
No.
isn't. So it's not always her. I said Jessica Carr was not in the right spot, and a lot of the problem is that when she was in NXT, everybody loved taking that finisher to the point where they knew how to take it from just about every
Well, this is the
angle,
thing.
position, and style possible. Pause.
Was it you or was it Cody in the last time the three of us were together that pointed out the Soul Snatcher you have to know how to do the move. But
Yeah,
it's a
that's
move
what I was going
where
into. It's a performance center
other-
move in that sense. Yeah. You got to
It's a
know how
move-
to take it and deliver
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you beat me to it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like it needs a giver and a receiver. Pause.
Yes. In tandem, they have to work together. And a lot of people you can see on the main roster, they said already, have just been like, I don't know how to take it. And they're not in the right prep stage for it, because she doesn't do a backflip that looks like it would be. She goes forward. So it's almost unnatural. She does
Yeah.
a front flip
It's-
because the
that's
backflip
that's the
flows.
conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's like the shooting star press. It doesn't make any sense because you're jumping forward while leaning backward.
Yes.
My thing now is you had all these things with all these dirt sheets that were like, oh, congratulations, first person of like, let's just say not white heritage
Yeah.
to get this title, and they're trying to do this in like a really congratulatory way. In no way is Sol Ruka out there saying I represent black people. In a
No.
million years, not doing that, right? But you get this whole like not black enough argument, and then
Yeah.
the next thing that comes along from that is, oh, WWE just crowned her so that they can keep that belt away from real black.
Yeah.
And then they go off and name a bunch of other people like they've never been champions, and the ones that they name are Jade, and Sasha and Bianca and Naomi. Like,
Yeah,
come
there's
on.
no bias there.
And I'm
Not a
sorry,
one.
not so much Naomi or Jade, but the other two have an entire blowjob's worth of like title history and resume to their name.
Oh
It makes
yeah.
me think, it reminds me of, and this is funny because it almost puts me in a position of having to defend Sasha Banks. And I don't want to defend Sasha Banks, right?
No, and the worst
When
person
she,
makes a great point. Absolutely not.
yeah.
But
But here's the thing: when Sasha Banks was in WWE, they wanted it on both sides, and I hate it because I'm saying they and you people and all the stuff I'm not supposed to say. But if I say those people, I just mean the people that want to make a stupid argument, right?
yeah, I think we get you. But
Yeah, I understand, but there's going to be somebody out there.
there's
Didn't like that.
always going to be somebody. But your
People didn't
audience
like that
gets
I
you.
called Mick Foley a grifter just because he's a fucking grifter. But here's
Yes.
the thing that happened. Here's what I remember from Sasha Banks.
There's even
First
more
of
on
all,
that too. That's so egregiously
oh my
stupid
god, yeah,
from
he wants to
him.
have one. He wants to have one more match. Fuck off. Oh,
One
this is
more
better than
match,
the Attitude
and
Era.
he's going on about how like, oh, I felt like I couldn't speak up, and it was going against all my morals, talking and
Oh,
being with WWE,
yeah,
and he really
yes.
paints it on heavy.
As soon as the money wasn't there, he thought it was against his morals.
Switched over, yeah.
And here's where, if I go back far enough in my fandom, and where I was kind of at a midpoint with Sasha Banks before we saw how she is,
Yes.
when she was the champion, and she was always the champion, and always the champion, and always the champion, and she was John Cena'd a little bit, right?
Yeah, she was always a champ because she could never hold it for longer than a month. That was the
Yeah.
thing too.
And whenever somebody would come along and be like, oh, WWE they're so racist, they don't push any people of color. And I'm like, Sasha Banks has owned that title. Yeah, but she's mixed. That doesn't count. I'm like, okay.
Okay,
So
so that's your
so
qualifier.
no, but so here's the thing. On one side, she's mixed. She doesn't count. She doesn't get to be part of the conversation, right?
Yep.
But then if she was in a match with, let's face it, most of the time it was Charlotte.
Yeah, it'd
It's
be a whole different story.
it would be the whole story of, oh, you can't take the belt off her, that's racist. I'm like,
Yep.
so you want her on the list, but you don't want her on the list, and now you've got Sol Ruka, who hasn't even gone out there and referred to herself in any type of
Yep.
way of like, hey, I'm here representing like the black
Protection,
community,
yeah.
whatever, all that, like
Any of
nothing
it.
of the sort. And you got all these people that are like, oh, they got a fake black chick in there so that they don't have the belt. And like, what the fuck are you talking? Like,
What are
of all
you
the people that
doing?
you've mentioned, she's had now for 5 days or so one mid-card championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Put that up
So
against any of the other people that you're crying about.
just one mid-card title.
You got a lady on the roster right now, and I want to say this nicely because she's going to be a mom, and I hope everything is cool with them and their family and whatnot. That wasn't in the ring for a year, and she came out basically to announce that she was going to be gone for another year. Totally fine, but that little announcement got a big ass full fucking segment at WrestleMania.
Yeah. And to have it take place with John Cena of all people.
I wish I got a segment at WrestleMania every time I get my special sock out, but that's just not
Right?
gonna happen.
I mean,
I don't fit any of the proper demographic.
I'll give
I
Danny a
just
sibling if we're gonna get WrestleMania tickets.
bam, there we go.
But that's
There
what
we
really,
go.
when we go back to it all, back to the Queen of the Ring, that's what really gets me is that Soul, even dealing with all the shit, feels like she's gonna win that round. So then you have
Mhm.
Liv and Soul doing the rematch, and it feels like Liv is going on in my
Mm.
eyes. And I'll get to it in a second, but it kind of almost doesn't matter. So what I would do is this personally. You have JC Jane and Kiana. You've got Bailey down over there. So I don't think Bailey screws with Lyra because she's over there. It's just a
Oh,
quick thought, but
Jane's winning the 4-way for sure.
you think
The first
so?
round.
See, I was thinking this. Crazy.
She's the Grande Americano of SmackDown right now.
Yes. So I'm not disagreeing with you, but
You know my love for Rhea Ripley. She's getting big. Her and like her group, like Fatal Influence, but specifically her on the mic. She's getting bigger reactions than Rhea Ripley.
absolutely. So what I want to do is I want to give you my like final scenarios and have you kind of pick through it. But these are what this is basically the storylines that I'm at. We have a few options here. Raquel Rodriguez takes on Io Sky. Raquel wins. Soul loses to Liv, and we get the battle of the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez at Queen of the Ring. Finally,
Hmm. It's
It's
for me now,
interesting, but
because they did the thing on Raw this week with Roxanne Perez losing early and Liv basically grazing over, right? It's now the Queen of the Ring has now become, when does the Judgment Day break up?
yes.
Does Roxanne Perez feel left out, and does she go and cost Liv Morgan the opening round? Does Liv Morgan go on but not want to face Raquel, so she like not accidentally cost her the match?
Yeah.
I think maybe not necessarily even by the end of the tournament. I think by the time the winner of this tournament gets their title shot at SummerSlam, there's no more Judgment.
I agree with you. So here's
Because
my oh yeah, go
I
ahead,
don't want
please.
to,
Yeah.
as much as I don't want to gloss over JD McDonough, who is actually in the background,
Yes.
and Dominic Mysterio, who's more a AAA guy than a Raw guy. The Judgment Day, for all intents and purposes, is a ladies trio, virtually the same as Fatal Influence, except for the added bonus of Fatal Influence is new. And if
Yeah.
Fatal Influence, it's going to be one of those things where we get to the Women's Royal Rumble next year, and Fatal Influence and Judgment Day are all going to be in the ring together, and they're going to have a 3-on-3 standoff, and
Yes.
everybody is going to get their ooh and their ah, and then you're going to have Jade and the baddies and
Yeah. And
a
all the
random Mia Yim
baddies
appeared. A random Mia Yim appeared. No,
in BFAB. Oh god. So that's idea one. Idea two, basically give you the quick summation of it, is doesn't really matter who wins fourth block, but we could say that JC wins. Really, it's all about Io Sky. She beats Liv Morgan in the finals, and Io Sky goes on to face Rhea. Why? Because she knows that's the easiest win. Rhea's never beaten her. It's like 7-0 or something at this point. Rhea can't get it done. And Io Sky knows it's not against her best friend. She loves Rhea, but she knows she wants the title, and you've never beaten me. So that's a big story to go off of for SummerSlam. You've got faces. They don't really need to turn anybody. That's a really interesting story. Or they do it as, like you said before, where it comes down to Liv and Io. Liv wins, and now she takes its title versus title at SummerSlam against Rhea. That's got a big intrigue to it too.
I want to see Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. I'm, as much as I'm saying it's really cool to see where they both are now that they've separated for a little bit. I don't want to be unifying titles. I'm not advocating for that.
I'm not either. So that's why I like the Io Sky Rhea one the most. I think.
But if Io Sky wins, I don't think you need to put her against Rhea. I think she could say, Rhea would be the easy option, and I don't want to take the easy way out. And then Rhea Ripley could be upset about that particular statement, and they could have something later on down the line.
Could be.
I think there's a very interesting possibility with Liv Morgan being in the tournament. If Io Sky beats Liv Morgan in the final to then get a rematch with her at SummerSlam, psychologically, you've set up a really cool story there, because she's there for a title match with a champion she's already beaten. And what does super crazy, paranoid, schizo, egotistical Liv Morgan do?
Yeah,
when she's doubting herself. When she's doubting herself, because I think not that I want to conjure people's resentment and feelings towards Chris Benoit, but I think you could end SummerSlam, at least SummerSlam night one, with both Rhea Ripley and Io Sky being champions and having like a Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero type celebration to send off the night.
Yeah,
I think
that was this one. YouTube doesn't like that name, but
well, I'm not monetized anyway. You can't take what I don't have.
You can't steal from me. I won't let you in. It's not a bad idea though to give them the WrestleMania, was that 20 ending where best friends both have the belts, and it could be a lot of fun. But
and both of them are like similar situations, because if it's Liv and Rhea, it's a case of like our association with this group kind of exploded to the point where one of us left, and we both accelerated once again, and look where, even as enemies, there's a familiarity there, like look where we are now, hey, look at us type thing, right? Whereas Io Sky and Rhea Ripley could have the positive version of that, hey, we were an awesome team for a while, and now, hey, look at us. Either way, I think you get a really cool thing, because outside of the babyface heel dynamics, like Liv and Rhea, the chemistry between the two of them has always been fantastic.
Yeah. So if you don't want to go title versus title and you don't go that route, like I said, you take option 2, because if Io has to face, not has to, but chooses to face Rhea, who faces Liv? And I imagine Stephanie's healed by then, and that's kind of the plan they had anyways. But like you said, it plays in more of the psychological advantage because Io would have to
Can I
beat
go totally
Liv.
out of the blue? If we're not saying that this is going to be the person that wins the Queen of the Ring, it's just somebody else that gets a title shot somewhere along the way. Can I give you a totally out of the blue suggestion?
Please.
Because I think they're splitting her up with who she's kind of partners with right now on SmackDown, and we need to send some people back over to Raw. Kiana James.
Yeah. She's second to last for the rankings as well, so it'd be interesting.
She's not going to. They're not going to give her Queen of the Ring.
No. I'm just letting you know. So
as a one-off opponent, and you can do a one-off opponent at a big pay-per-view. It doesn't have to be a B pay-per-view. But even though she's like sort of been saddled with this like, hey, Julia's manager type gimmick that she's doing, every time she's been in anything, ladder match, Royal Rumble, multi-person matches and battle royals and all that, she's been the highlight.
Yeah, she's looked great.
Her run in the Royal Rumble this year was fantastic.
And in the chamber, like she's done a lot of great stuff. So yeah, the only one having better, worse odds, I should say, than hers is worse odds is actually Sol Ruka. So Sol Ruka plus 3,000, then Kiana, then it goes Bailey, Alexa, Chelsea, Lyra, Liv, Jade, Becky, and the top 4 for winners is JC at number 4. Number 3 is Charlotte. Number 2 is Raquel, and number 1 is Io Sky.
And see, again, I know like I'm throwing babyface heel dynamics out the window, and they're separated by shows right now because they're such big characters. Sign me up for JC Jane versus Liv Morgan.
Oh,
because the entire build to that would be Judgment Day versus Fatal Influence.
Absolutely.
And that would be 6 helpings of who can be the biggest bitch in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Because if that was the case, and if she was facing somebody with a group, they would hold off on breaking up the Judgment Day.
Yes.
Because it wouldn't be like, hey, we can handle family business later, but let's handle this. It would be very Bloodline-esque. And
no doubt about it, but just better.
I know people are in their feelings about the Bloodline, so I'm going to save that for a different podcast. We've spent so much time talking about the Queen of the Ring because I'm sorry, I like a lot of people in the King of the Ring, but like Femi's winning this. We're getting Femi and Roman.
That's really why I wanted to say. So with the men's, there's 2 right now. The favored guy is Seth Rollins. Funny enough, I
get that.
Not for Vegas odds alone, but also because like the rumor right here. Hold on. They're saying that where is it here? I have my notes for later that are out of order. But yeah, they said odd makers still aren't sure who's winning King of the Ring for sure. They have Seth Rollins as the favorite for the men's, followed by, in second place, Breaker, Balor, LA Knight, Trick Williams, and it goes on as such. So it's odd that they don't have Obafemi as the favorite, as I would have thought, but I'm trying to find the other.
I know people are pulling for the Seth Rollins Roman Reigns story because we did Rollins Roman Punk, and then we removed Rollins so that we could get Roman Punk. Now we remove Punk so that we can have Roman Rollins. I get that. I don't think you need to use an entire King of the Ring tournament to get there.
I agree. So they said it was noted that while there are a lot of moving parts, the current plan is to have Seth Rollins win the tournament and face Roman at SummerSlam. This will be the first time Roman and Rollins have faced off since they and Punk clashed in a triple threat match. And it'll be the first time since the 2 faced each other at the Rumble in 2022. So it's likely that Seth would go into the match as a babyface, a role that he admitted he's not very good at. And hey, but that's their tentative plan.
He just finished feuding with the Vision. If they turn him heel again, we're gonna roll our eyes and say, okay, again. I'm looking at the one side of the bracket, and this is not really a King of the Ring comment, but we touched briefly on the fact that they just kind of slid Finn Balor over onto SmackDown.
Yes.
I kind of really want his first feud to be Ricky Saints.
Yeah, I
Finn
think that
Balor
would be a ton
is
of
gonna be a
fun
lot of fun.
and really entertaining. They got him away from the Judgment Day. If you look at this bracket, I think bottom right, you got Usos, LA Knight, Keys, and Balor. So right there, you know who I'm going for.
Yeah!
Then Seth Rollins
Oh,
is who I'm picking, top
you're
right.
going for LA Knight.
I am going for LA Knight. I
Oh,
think they
okay,
want to
because
tease us.
I said Keys and you did the friggin' sound effect over it.
Yeah,
I
not Keys.
Yeah!
I'm so locked in to how I think this is going. Not only
Yes.
is Obafemi almost I can speak, I swear. Not only do I have Obafemi winning this by a large margin, but I have the final of this being a monster battle, like a monster truck kaiju big battle type thing. Obafemi, Royce Keys.
That would be
Just do it.
awesome.
Just do
Now,
it.
here's my problem. I think Obafemi in his next face-off, which I think is going to be against Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker is winning that part. Unless they do the whole "we're going to cost you" thing, but because Trick has a title there, you know, people they have champions in this all around. They have the women's IC title, the women's champion. You know what I mean? They've got Trick in there with the U.S. title. Like it's not like people don't have titles all over the place on here. Here's the thing. Even Penta with the title, you know, he had that for going on, you know, the first round. I think Obafemi's going to lose because of Brock Lesnar. I don't love the idea. I'm not sold on it because of logic, but like they're already 1-1, and I think I'm against it happening at SummerSlam for every reason you are. But since we now know they're not doing it at Night of Champions, they have two options left. Saturday night's main event in MSG or SummerSlam, and I think they might just do it at SummerSlam. I think we're going to get Obafemi Brock Lesnar 3 at SummerSlam, even though it's Lesnar's hometown and Femi's going to get booed. And I think they're because
all the stuff we already talked about.
Yeah.
What about this? Because they haven't done a massive surprise like on a big scale on a pay-per-view in a long time. Like the last surprise we had was Danhausen. It's fine, don't worry about it. What if we open up Night of Champions? The first match of the night is the King of the Ring tournament. Brock takes out Femi. Later on in the night, Femi hijacks the show and says, "You want round 3, you're getting it right now."
Yeah, I mean, if it would, I think they could do that if when you have the Braun Breaker match, Brock costs him then, and then they can build with one more week to Night of Champions for them to have part 3.
I guess.
I just don't see him facing Obafemi in
there's a part of me, and it's not specific to them. We're getting good pay-per-views, and we're getting a lot of matches that I want to see in the past little while, which is why WWE is getting a lot of huge passes from me at the moment. We're getting a lot of stuff I want to see. It's just like, oh, that makes sense, which means I'm getting this eventually. Oh, look at that. I got that thing that I wanted, right? Which is exactly what you should have as a wrestling fan, right?
Yeah.
But I want to be surprised. And that's why even when a surprise is kind of shit, even when a surprise falls on its face, it's still kind of good in that other way.
Yes.
But like Obafemi is going to go to Night of Champions. He's going to win that crown. He's going to sign, seal, and deliver his championship match at SummerSlam. He gets it ripped away from him by Brock Lesnar. He doesn't even leave the building. I'm not even leaving the ring. Get your ass back here. You want round 3? We're doing it right now.
That would be incredible. I would love the booking idea of that. Here's the thing, though. I think they have the match they want for Night of Champions, and it's what we just got on Raw. Because if they go and they have Rollins and Knight or Rollins and Keys or whoever, I think Rollins is going to win. A lot of this is going to play into the vision, but Braun Breaker, if he wins the other one, we end up, you know, if Brock costs Breaker the match, and think about it, why would that happen also? Well, Paul Heyman wants to see Braun Breaker get through the tournament with the Vision. So, of course, he would screw over Obafemi using Brock Lesnar because that's Brock's biggest enemy, and it's the Vision's enemy that week if he's going to keep them from getting through the tournament. To me, it just makes sense somehow in my head that I'm locked into it. I don't want it. But
for how long that here's the thing, I'm looking down at the other end of the bracket now.
Yeah.
For as long as I've been pulling to get Balor back into the world title picture, it says something that I'm not immediately looking at the bracket and saying, well, give it to Balor, obviously.
Yeah.
because any other time I would be, but Femi is so obvious right now, which is another reason I wanted to sort of like divert into some more negative, oh, let's just dump on WWE because we can narrative. Oh my God, Obafemi is completely destroyed. He's never going to recover. He lost to
Yeah.
Brock. He's buried, blah, 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 blah. I want you to go back to Raw and I want you to ask Penta and Solo Sikoa and Carmelo Hayes if Femi's lost any steam.
Yeah.
Because the whole Adam Nicholas line about like chucking people around like empty tracksuits, he was chucking them around like whole laundry bin.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not going to lose anything by actually
He grabbed the mic
losing,
and
and
like,
they can
and he's
reiterate
like,
that easily.
but he gives the speech too, and this is the thing, and you kind of forget and remember in the same 5 seconds what a good promo Obafemi is because he
Yes.
dusted them. He dusted them like without even like really losing his breath. Grabs the microphone and he says, you know, Brock, you got round 3 coming. I don't know when, I don't know where type of thing, but does it look like I've stopped? You asked me if I could take an ass whipping and stay standing. Well, I'm the one standing in the ring right now. Where are you?
Yeah, I
Right?
won my match. Where are you? And that's the great
You know what
point
I love?
here.
Total side note as well. This is like, you know, let's glaze WWE production again because why not? All 3 members, Penta and Solo Sikoa and Carmelo Hayes, knew that they had to jump Femi at the buzzer, so to speak, right?
Yes.
They jump him. He literally obliterates all 3 of them, hops back in the ring, finishes his pose to finish his entrance.
Yes, just was like I wasn't done yet. Gotta love it. And
He's
it just it
it
makes it
wouldn't be
fun.
forever. It would obviously be for one night. I would love to see Obafemi show up in AAA.
That would be great. You'd never say never. And
Like,
here's
okay,
the thing, though. I could really see them having, Obafemi get screwed because of the Vision. The Vision has to worry about Rollins on the other side. And then we end up getting Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins in the finals because obviously, in a way,
here's
like this could end the Vision. This could be the
we talk about the Vision, we talk about the Judgment Day. I'm doing some quick maths here on here. Now, Solo Sikoa has already been eliminated, but if you look at the bracket the way it was presented ahead of time, there's 2 members of the MFTs
yes.
on in the bracket. There's only 1 member of the Bloodline. Interessante.
Yes, indeed. So it
I mean,
makes for
you know, in the bottom corner, I ain't winning this thing, but I'm still here. LA Knight, yeah.
and yeeting away. But yeah, there's a lot of story there between him and the Usos, and they've got some intrigue all over the place with this. But
Also, if Obafemi does win, we get a rematch from Saturday night's main event of Obafemi and Cody Rhodes. That could be fun.
yes, I think it's going to be Seth Rollins winning, and I think it's going to be Io Sky winning. Those are my 2
Donkey!
final projections there.
Oh, I'm picking Liv Hundo. Liv Morgan with a possible second of JC Jane.
Yes.
Wild card of Kiana James, and then Obafemi, and it's just Obafemi. It just is. It just is.
I want to believe. I just feel like they're doing the thing where it's like.
Thing is, like you can see the pin eaters in every match, which is kind of bad. Like Penta, Femi, Solo Sikoa, Carmelo Hayes. You knew Femi was going to win, but you knew Sikoa was going to be eating the pin. I hate to see where Damian Priest is right now, but he's eating the pin in that match. I don't really know much about Talatonga Hikuleo outside of WWE, but he's there to get pinned and have somebody say, "Oh my God, I can't believe they pinned that big guy." Also, he had a standoff this past week with Obafemi, so that could factor in. There's no DQs in a fatal 4-way match. And I'm sorry, your boy is eating the pin. I'm eating the pin. Yeah.
It seems like
He's
it's gonna happen.
Get a Job Squad pin me, pay me shirt. Anyway, I think we've rambled on for quite long enough, and I said I was going to get you out of here with a couple minutes to spare. So, Jake, why don't you tell everybody what's going on your side and where they can find you?
Yes, indeed. You can check us out as we're always live into Somewhere weekly, game night, SmackDown, Raw, NXT reviews. We cover PLEs, youtube.com/Jake DeMarco. Check out the latest album. It's the second part of Into Somewhere, B-side hits and rarities. That's another 18 tracks of remastered goodness. And then, of course, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Countdown Ended. Go ahead and send me a message, check behind the scenes stuff, and more. So thank you, as always, so much for having me on the Spaz Phoenix YouTube channel.
Bam. Be sure to check us out again this coming Saturday for the second half of Noche de los Grandes for the pay-per-view day hangout. I won't be, but Jake's going to be keeping an eye on the chat for me, and join us next week for the second ever NXT night hangout. Other than that, you know where to find me, or you wouldn't be here. I've been Spaz. This has been Jake. This has been The State of Wrestling. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I am tagging out. Bye, guys.
1,800 subscribers.